Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video. Today is all about Little Mix the Search episode 4, which was of course the vocal and instrument band. Now this episode was by far my most favourite so far. I loved it. The energy was literally next level. Now I've always been a fan of Busted, McFly, Five Sauce. Any band that can play always blow me away. And obviously you've got people like the 1975. You've got so many incredibly talented bands already out there. And this is what I love about Little Mix the Search. It's so different. And this episode for me was the winning episode. Now I know some people might not agree with that, but for me, it's what makes people so special. Like, it's literally like you're not just singing, you're doing two things at once, and for me it's almost like the quadruple threat of everything. You know, when somebody can sing, dance, play an instrument and of course act. That always amazes me. But these guys that we saw in this episode blew me away from start to finish. So let's start by recapping what happened on Little Mix the Search episode 4, instrument and vocal. Let's go. Woohoo!
And tonight, we're searching for a vocal and instrument band.
So the first person we saw in the room was Harry, who's 21 and an estate agent. And from the get-go, the girls were like, he looks like a leading man. Now, he was previously in a band before, which broke up. So I was a bit like, oh, he's already been in a band. What's this going to be like? But at least he's got a lot of experience. He did look great and he sounded really, really fantastic. So Harry, who is 21 and is an estate agent, came out with his guitar and played Zombie and absolutely rocked it. Got that real tone, that raw kind of rocky sound, which I loved. It was very Five Sauce, crossed with kind of Kaiser cheese, which I really, really liked. And of course, Harry made the band, which is incredibly exciting. Next up was Joe, who talks about the fact that he is a portable toilet company. So he works at a portable toilet company and he's like, I do not work in a toilet, I work in an office in a suit. So good for Joe. And he actually sang Tom Grennan's song, Found What I've Been Looking For. Found what I've been looking for. Found what I've been looking for. And then Tom Grennan, following his performance on the BBC, actually tweeted how great his cover was. So huge congratulations to Joe. Jade actually said no, which I kind of agreed with, because I just feel like he didn't give enough for an audition. Like, he was brilliant, don't get me wrong, but when you're coming to an audition like that, as big as that, you really have to, like, up your game. Like, even just in the way you are, the way you sing, like, even if you leave there like absolutely exhausted. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I just think he could have given a lot more to his audition, which is why I don't think he made it through to the final band. However, his voice is stunning. He was playing the guitar, and as I mentioned before, it takes so much talent to be able to play an instrument and sing, and I do personally think he smashed the audition. I just think he could have just given a little bit more and he probably would have made the band, but that's all I would say. But he did really, really well, so well done, Joe. Really great job. Next up was Cara, who's a hairdresser assistant, and she was so chatty and so sweet, and she sang Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and it was beautiful. Girls, they wanna have fun. Now, I loved her because she was just so sweet, and I just feel like if I could give her a cuddle, I would, because she was just so good. And she's one of those artists that are kind of easy listening. You could listen to her before you go to bed, or you could listen to her on the move when you want to calm down. She just gave me those real calm vibes, and I really love that about her. And she made the band room, which was great. Yay! Also, I'm a huge fan of Cyndi Lauper, so when she sang that, I was just so happy. It brought back great memories of when I did meet Cyndi Lauper at a show. But anyway, that's another story for another video. But well done, Cara. Really, really loved your performance. Unfortunately, she didn't make the band in the end, but I feel like she absolutely smashed her audition, and if I could see her in a girl band instrument, I would love to, but if not, I think she'll do quite well solo. So then the next person who came in was Morgan, who is only 16, plays the piano and works in a supermarket. Now, he was shy and, as he said, a bit awkward, but I did get very Matty 1975 vibes crossed with Boy George. He sang Lana Del Rey, Heaven is a Place. with some riffs. I think it was just very boy band, and I thought he could be actually a left-hand man or a right-hand man. I just didn't see him as a front man, but I definitely saw him in the band, and he of course made the band room. But I really enjoyed his performance, and considering the fact he said he was so shy, he did so well to come out there and perform the way he did. He smashed it. And then we had Riley, who's 18 years old, who sang 5 colours in her hair.
Weirdo with 5 colours in her hair.
So Jade said no, Leanne said no, they all said no to being a band, but it was such a shame because he just wasn't powerful enough. Had he been a little bit more powerful and had a little bit more practice, I feel he would have gone through. But yeah, it just felt like he was more of a solo artist than a group. But I just didn't feel like the song worked for him. I think if he picked another song, perhaps he would have gone through, but it was a bit of a stretch. And 5 Colours in Her Hair is a very hard song to perform, especially when you're playing the guitar and singing at the same time. Next up was Patrick, who actually for me looks a bit like Lewis Capaldi. He had long hair, and like he was very rock and roll. So he's played the guitar since he was 7, and I was like, whoa, okay, he's going to be good. So from 7 to 18 years old, you know, that's pretty impressive.
Know what you waiting for, what you waiting for.
Now, he wasn't a leading man, but he did plead a little bit, so he got through.
I don't know, there's just something missing for me. I don't know what it was.
I will prove you wrong. I will prove you wrong.
So I was a bit like, okay, he did well. But actually, in the live show, when it got to the live show, he really showed how he can play up to the camera and play up to a real crowd. For me, the only difficulty is with watching these auditions is that when it comes to a band with instruments, it's very much a live experience. So when you're seeing it through the screen, it's very hard to judge somebody by that. Whereas the girls would have actually seen them live and felt that kind of atmosphere. But I do think it's next level when they get out in front of an audience. So that's when I was absolutely blown away, which I'll talk about shortly. Next up, we had Dia, who said she couldn't dance, but she did give me very Christine and the Queen vibe. She had a beautiful voice, but had no instrument. So I was a bit confused as to why she didn't have an instrument in this particular episode. She can play, apparently, several instruments, but she didn't in this episode. Now, I loved her style. I loved her voice. I just wasn't sure of her placement within the band, and they found that later in the episode when they were trying to kind of pair her up within the band, which of course is why she didn't make the final band. But I have to say, as an artist, I think on her own, she could be very unique and has lots of potential. So then we had Jacob, who admittedly straight away walked straight into the room, admitted that he had a crush on Perry, which was quite funny. And he also plays the keyboard, which I love. I love a guy that can play a keyboard. And he actually sang a Lewis Capaldi song.
There must be something in the water, 'cause every day it's getting colder.
And I just loved his voice and the low notes. It was a very rich tone. As Perry said, a rich tea biscuit. So yeah, I agreed with Perry that he was very rich, and of course he got through, so that was amazing. And then, surprise, surprise, we had Leanne as Millie walking in and pretending to be an auditionee, and it was absolutely hilarious. I love Lee so much. She, of course, sang the rap to Going Nowhere from the DNA album, and it was awesome. She smashed it and showed the nation that as a girl band members can rap, and she smashed it. Just loved it. It gave me all the throwback vibes to DNA, kind of Mixers Magnets vibes. If you remember Mixers Magnets, let me know in a comment below. Honestly, she was brilliant. And then we had Jack Raymond, who was from where Gavin and Stacey was filmed. He was great. I mean, great. He was incredible at guitar, but his vocals just weren't there, which was such a shame because the girls went crazy with his guitar. He was playing the guitar, like, from behind. He wasn't even looking at it. Now that is talent. Now I do think though he could have worked in a vocal band, but he was so memorable. Like, and even the girls tweeted after his performance to say, Jack, you are a legend. You've got to love him. He's brilliant. But yeah, his vocals weren't quite there, but I would hire him any day to play a guitar. Absolutely incredible. And then we had Billy, who looked cool. He's from Fife. He did a lot of busking for beer money. Now, I loved Billy. I had a real soft spot for him. You know, he talks about how he was busking every day. He gave me very Danny from the Script vibes at first. And this song that he sang was an original song that he made about his granddad when he passed away. So he dedicated his whole song to his granddad, and I just felt like it was the most beautiful and very unique tone, and was just such a gorgeous tribute. Now, to go on this show and audition is one thing, but to sing an original song about your granddad was just, yeah, it took real courage, and he actually brought tears to my eyes. So, Billy, if you're watching, I really hope you're doing well. You were absolutely amazing, and I know you didn't make the band, but I know that you're going to go very, very far. Also, talking about Billy, Billy has a brand new single out called She, so be sure to go and stream that, download it, check it out. He's incredibly talented, and I'm sure has a very, very bright future ahead. But for me, he was my favourite of the episode, and although he didn't make the band, I still feel like he's got a very, very bright future ahead. Next up was Matthew, aka Matthew, but he preferred to be referred to his Irish way of pronouncing his name, Matthew. And he actually did remind me of my friend Aidan. So Aidan, if you're watching, he did remind me of you. The earrings kind of gave me those vibes, but blonde hair. And anyway, he was very, very good at the guitar, very strong accent from Dublin. 20 years old and works in a bank, and he said it's really cool to work with other people, which is why he wants to be in a band. So he did Better Now, and he had a very, very gutsy voice.
Now, better now, you only say that 'cause I'm not around. Now.
But when it came to the end of his audition, he was quite cheeky, and that he was almost like begging. I got a lot of work in me, and I'll show you. So Jade said no. Lee said cheeky chappy and said he has charisma. Jessie and Leanne said yes. And Matthew said, I might be, you know, it's a long way home to Dublin. Come on, Perry, come on, Perry. And this is where he started to kind of like beg. He's gone through Perry, don't make me regret this. Oh, so Perry said, don't make me regret this. So Matthew really, really like kind of showed himself up in the live show. I felt like he really brought it, because he knew that he had to impress the girls after getting a no from Jade and a yes, but kind of like a maybe from Perry. So he did very, very well. And then we got to the performance, which, by the way, was two of my favourite songs. I Love Five Sauce, Young Blood, mashed up with Katy Perry, I Kissed a Girl. And oh my goodness, it was awesome. I was left buzzing and like shaking afterwards because it was so good. Harmonies, the instruments, the energy, it was absolutely everything, like everything. I loved it. And then of course we had to say goodbye to some incredibly talented people, and we were left with the final group, which was Harry, Jacob, Patrick and Matthew. I say Matthew because that's how he pronounces his name, but what a great, great band, instrument vocal band, that's what I was saying, to end the episode with. So that was episode 4, and that was instrument and vocal band. We're all boys, giving me busted kind of McFly vibes already. Very, very excited to see what's to come next with them. But don't forget to watch Little Mix of Search on BBC One and BBC iPlayer right now.
2 more bands to create. A girl dance group and a rap R&B band.
Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video and you'd like to see more like this, then click subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!